there. Welcome to
How you
Kansas City.
doing? How you doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Okay, here's our local media. You'll see these guys a lot when you get here. And they're just gonna ask you some questions and we'll let you go celebrate. Okay, we're gonna start with Sam McDowell with the Kansas City Star.
Hey, what's up, man? I got a couple things for you, but wonder first just your reaction and maybe your pre-draft communication with the Chiefs. Did this come as a surprise to you?
I mean, obviously, I think it's an obvious case where everybody was saying the needs for my position and whatnot, but to me, like the communication with the Chiefs wasn't really like too much so I didn't really expect it. I would say, but just really my reaction at the time of getting picked, I all my emotions came out when I seen that Kansas City number come across my phone. It was just a blessing.
And then just I wonder your draft day experience. I mean, obviously I know you're at the draft, but who you watched it with and who's important to you in that room.
Sure. Two of my brothers, two of my sisters, both my parents, grandma, grandpa, everybody. It took a village to get where I'm at. So, everybody just was enjoying this experience with me.
Okay, let's go next to Matt Derrick with Chiefs Digest. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Mansoor, congratulations. And I hope I got your name correct there. Is it Mansoor?
Mansoor, perfect.
Excellent. Um, you know, have you watched much of Trent McDuffie? Obviously, he was the guy that you're kind of going to be replacing, at least on the roster. Did you watch him play much and have any thoughts about him as a player?
No, for sure, he's a great player. I like to study all types of guys in the league. And he's one of the best to do it, especially with his versatility. So, just not knowing where I'm gonna fit in, I can fit in anywhere in that defense, bags defense. So really just excited to step in and make an impact.
And I know you've played obviously a lot on the boundary and as an outside corner. What's your comfort level as far as playing inside in the slot corner if that's what the Chiefs ask you to do?
Super comfortable. I love playing inside. I think it's almost even more fun. You're closer to the ball. You're in more run fits. You can blitz more. You have more responsibility. So I think to me, the more responsibility, the funner it is. So I'm excited.
Let's go next to Todd Lebo.
A couple questions. First off, I know your head's spinning. Who called you from the Chiefs? Who did you get to talk to? And can you kind of let us know what you heard on those conversations?
Like, I'm gonna be 100% honest. When they called me, I just started crying. I don't know who was talking. I was just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But then I talked to. I remember I just talked to Coach Reed. Mr. Veach. I just remember those two specifically. Once I kind of winded down a little bit, but it was a great moment.
And tell me about your progression. You started Virginia Tech, you ended up with a year at LSU. What did you feel that move to LSU meant for you as far as getting yourself to this level?
Nah, for sure. It gave me the platform. I just wanted. I'm always a guy who runs a competition. I think LSU, that was one of the hardest tasks. I took a chance. I bet on myself and it paid off. So just playing with great guys, surrounding myself with the best competition. I just love that.
We'll go next to Jesse Newell.
Hey, Mansoor, I got a couple for you. First off, you said that a lot of tears right after you were picked. Can you take me through the emotions? What was going through your mind?
So I get the phone call. And, they traded up. So I was like, dang, like, I wanted to go to the Chiefs, but, I just wasn't expecting it. So I was like, yeah, here it goes. Then I look down, I'm like, I look around like for a quick second. And then I pick up the phone and then I'm like, whoa, like this is crazy. And then, that's when just the emotion came to me. And, I was just so blessed to, be on a team like this.
And I think you said on TV they made the best move in the draft to take you. Can you explain what you meant by that?
It's the best move. I truly believe defense wins championships. Let alone with the offense, we already have now. The defense, it just makes our job even easier. So really just being able to step in and you see the impact. Now that the league is such a passing league, and everybody wants to score points, so I'm here to shut it down. So I think that's the best move you can make.
Let's go next to Nick Jacobs.
And Sydney, I have a follow-up if I can, please. Mansoor, for you, what is it about football that you love?
Man, I love everything about it. I love the violence of the sport. And again, on a different note, I love the relationships it brings. It just bring me around so many great people, and so many different bridges. More than after football. I just think it's a beautiful game, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
And for you, kind of watching a Steve Spagnuolo scheme, what is it that excites you about being able to play in that style?
Man, I couldn't ask for anything better. Just Spags, things I hear about him and just, being on a Zoom call. I did a Zoom call with them and just the defense that he has, just the flexibility you could play with and you could play ball. And I think that's what fits me best. Just the way I play ball with anticipation and and knowledge. I think it just fits me great.
We'll go next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, what's up, Mansoor? Congratulations, man.
Appreciate you.
Hey, you talked about relationships. I believe one of your brothers that you played with at VT, man, Shamari Connor, he was a senior, you was a freshman at VT. Just talk about being able to be on the team, again with him.
For sure. When I came to Virginia Tech, I was a freshman, and Shamari was, this big old senior type of dude. Like I really looked up to him. Like, I was like, oh, that's what a college player is like. So just being around Shamari and just, that's one of the best players I've ever played with. And we've talked a little bit before the draft, that we hope to get play with each other. But now, it's just I got some old pictures I need to repost, but it'll be a blessing.
Has he called you?
Nah, it's true. I haven't been able to check my phone. He
Okay.
texted me like 10 minutes before the draft though. And he just said, let me know if you need anything. He might have known something I didn't though, apparently.
We'll go next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Mansoor, congratulations.
How you doing?
What I wonder, you said this a little bit, but what did it mean to you that they drafted up for you? I mean, does that come with a little extra sense of responsibility and excitement? And I'll have a follow-up, Sid, too.
For sure. I think pressure and privilege, I don't really take it as if like, I got more weight on my shoulders or anything, but it just shows, how much they wanted me. And you want to be somewhere where you wanted. You can't ask for anything better than that. So I'm just glad to be a part of this program, and organization, and I'm ready to get started.
And a little related to the question about Shamari, have you gotten to know Tyrann Mathieu at all, or is he a guy that you've looked up to and followed and maybe heard from?
For sure, Honey Badger has to be top three players, in all of time, especially in college football. But I watch his podcast a lot. Him being me going to LSU, and him being from Louisiana. I just heard about Coach Andy Reid's practices, so I'm already been prepared for that. And then really just him supporting me throughout this process, and even when I committed to LSU, welcome me into the brotherhood.
Okay, perfect. We have three more left. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Mansoor, welcome here to Kansas City. Not a lot of top 10 picks get to immediately play for a team that has championship aspirations. I'm wondering, how excited are you to get here and play for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Nah, that's what I was saying. I just really think there's no better opportunity. A lot of top 10 teams, like, they're really not good. But that's not the situation here. We have a championship team. Just had one little down year, but we're right back to it. With the expectations that are here, I'm expecting to live up to them. So I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's go next to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Mansoor, along with everyone else, congratulations and welcome to Kansas City. You mentioned at the start of this that you always wanted to play for the Chiefs. Why did you want to play for the Chiefs?
You said, why did I want to play for the Chiefs?
Yes.
Oh, shoot. It's Coach Spags, just the defense. And then on top of that, the whole everything, the culture, how much the fan base, the way y'all love the team. Really it's a winning program. You know who's on the other side of the ball. So then at the same time, the defense, just the versatility you get to play with. They're not gonna cornerhole you in one spot. You can be a ball player. So I think that's the best situation I can ask for.
Okay, last one for you, and go ahead, Darren.
Hey, thank you. Mansoor, welcome to Kansas City. We'll welcome you when you get here, man. I think you're going to enjoy it very much. Look, you were one of the best players at your position in college football. How do you feel like playing at a big time program, playing in the swamp, that type of atmosphere will allow you to transfer easily over here to Kansas City?
For sure. I played at Virginia Tech too, and that environment is no slouch either. So, every place I've been at, it's been crazy environments, and just going to LSU, the expectations are crazy in the SEC. It's almost even crazy in the league, I would say. So just coming to the league, really not too much of a difference for me. I thrive and I love playing in these, pressure situations and these pressure moments. So it's a blessing.
Okay, that's all we have for you, and Kelsey will tell you what's next.